You're listening to the audio portion of Workshop Wednesdays. Workshop Wednesdays is a free live discussion about topics affecting accountants, bookkeepers, and business owners. You can join the ABO group in Facebook to participate live Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Time. Just search for ABBO in Facebook. This podcast is brought to you by Schoolofbookkeeping.com, where you will learn, grow, and build a thriving bookkeeping practice. We have hundreds of lessons with almost every aspect of the industry. Start your free month today at Schoolofbookkeeping.com.
Well, welcome to another Workshop Wednesday. I'm Dan along with Carrie Kahn, and we have a guest joining us, flying in from where are you physically located, Ryan?
Today I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh, Las Vegas. Lost wages.
Lost wages, yes indeed. Yeah.
All right. Well, today, actually, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about some of the online banking. At School of Bookkeeping, we created an online banking course where you can get the most, out of your online banking feeds. And I was talking with Ryan. Actually, came on the QB Power Hour yesterday, and thought, well, why not we just bring them on to the Workshop Wednesday? So,
fun.
So this situation is, we know the powerful tools and the automation that you can have with online bank feeds, whether it's in QuickBooks Desktop or QuickBooks Online. But Ryan, what does this solve? What does MoneyThumb solve for?
Sure. So let's say your clients bring you 12-month bank statements, and either they email them over to you and it's native statements, or they come over and drop on your desk 12 months worth of bank statements and say, please magically get this into QuickBooks so that we can do all our successful bookkeeping. And you say, at that point, what MoneyThumb will do, and I'll show you this when we get into the demo, is it will convert all of those bank statements in a second a page. If you blink, you will miss it.
Oh, wow.
And we'll create a .qbo file that will allow you to just easily upload it into whether it's QuickBooks Desktop or QuickBooks Online. And so essentially we'll cut all the work that you do in manually transcribing things down to a matter of a few seconds. And when we do the demo, I'll do it once through at lightning speed so you can see here's how it works. And then we'll get into some of the details and the settings that you can do, like pay cleanup and some fun things like that.
I heard an oh wow out of Carrie. Carrie, in your history of working with clients, has that happened to you where they've come up with just paper statements? And
oh yeah, definitely. And that they want the magic to go with it. They think that you have a computer, it'll just fall in there by as magic. So
I remember when I worked at Intuit, there was one call I'll never forget. He's like, I'm trying to get my bills into my QuickBooks. I'm like, okay, how are you doing that? Like, well, I'm taking the bill and I'm putting it up against the screen on the computer and it's not going in. Okay, clearly it's defective.
I can top that one. This is a true story. I was doing a point of sale setup for a customer, and when I installed it on the computer, and the computer person went with me and we turned it on, and she said, "You mean the inventory is not in there? The inventory here is not in the computer? Why not? I thought it just automatically goes in there." And I was like,
right.
Yeah. Well, we can help with some of that.
Yeah, some of that, not all of it.
Right.
But in the times, Carrie, that you've seen that happen where they just plop the statements and want it to just, how much time does that take you, per statement that you've experienced?
Manually doing it? It obviously takes a while. You have to have some people that have I mean, I usually get lower end data entry people. The challenge isn't just, there's two challenge levels, which I know you'll get to, but one of them is getting the data inside of something and then having someone with the expertise knowing how to code it. And then maybe the magic of rules.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, this MoneyThumb
time consuming. To answer your question, the old days, it's very time consuming, and customers don't. And for a pro advisor, it's really hard to say. They say, how long is that going to take you? What are you going to bill me? I don't know, but if I guess, I usually underguess, and I usually lose my fanny on it. And there's I have nothing to do other than to say I didn't get it done, and then I look stupid. Like, well, you should know what it takes, and I really don't. That's where I get stuck.
Yeah, just trying to budget your own time and what it's actually going to take. And another use case, right, for MoneyThumb, correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan, is a situation where it does connect to QuickBooks, but it doesn't go back far enough. Like, you can't necessarily go back in time. Like, I think somebody was saying yesterday, TD Bank only goes back 2 months, maximum of 2 months. And then the rest, you have a PDF of the statement, and that's it. Right. So you're kind of stuck.
I don't know if you've noticed too, banks are even getting rid of those PDFs. They're making it harder and harder for us to get that data. So,
yeah. And then what was Ralph saying the other day is that now the banks are kind of encrypting their PDFs to make it a little bit even more proprietary, right?
Oh, sure. We see that all the time. And with encrypted statements, our system functions just fine, right? You just run the PDF plus, and the encrypted, it's a collection of the images embedded into a text-based statement, which throws most programs off kilter. But for us, we're able to process those with no issue.
And the cool part is that it's you have desktop and online software for MoneyThumb, but you have a desktop software that can also be installed on the Mac, Carrie.
Yippee! We're Mac people. We don't go back to PC ever again.
Windows, Windows or Mac, doesn't matter. But it will also work with QuickBooks Online or desktop, right? So it's agnostic to the final destination of where you're going to. And then once you've gotten it in there, now you're using the online banking feeds, to help speed up entering those transactions into QuickBooks. So I'm going to turn it over to Ryan so that he can kind of show us this wizardry that he has.
And you alluded to a clue that I wanted to make sure anyone listening picks up on, because it took me a while to know. But when you do create that file, you said something like .qbo, which originally when I saw that, or if I'm even in my bank logged in and I try to export that list that you're talking about, they would say, you want to export this to QBO? And I would think, oh no, I have desktop, that won't work. But it's that format that it's agnostic, but it's got the word QBO, which can be derailing to people that don't understand it's okay.
That's so true. And the QBO file extension came out well before the QuickBooks Online. So it seems like it's just a coincidence that it is QBO, but we get that question all the time. So I'm glad we talked about it.
We need that as an FAQ.
Yep, absolutely. No, we definitely do.
For the QBO, QFX.
We have I will say that I'll give you a brief overview of the company first, but it wouldn't, just because we're on the subject of FAQs, I will say that we do have a great FAQ on our site, but even more so, I think that one of the great things about our company is that when you purchase a software from MoneyThumb, you get unlimited support. And it's as easy as writing into support@moneythumb.com. And we will provide just a really quick response. And it is everything from, the file extension types to, I can't get this one to convert. What if it doesn't reconcile? I mean, there's all sorts of questions, but our support team is lightning fast in getting out great response. To tack onto that, I'll tell you, MoneyThumb is not a brand new company. We were founded in 2012. It was initially created by Ralph Mayer, who was really just trying to solve a workflow problem that one of his accountant friends was having. And since then, we have grown into this AI-powered data intelligence and process automation company that is an approved partner of Intuit, and we have regular conversations, and they're great source of information and leads for us. And we've become a go-to software for tens of thousands of accountants already. So awesome. In general, if you're running statements through and you're having an issue, chances are we've probably seen it. So reach out to our support team, and they're more than happy to help.
That's really a good highlight, because often when you get in these projects and the customer is breathing down your neck, you need help and you don't want to wait for a response. So that's a good call out. Yeah,
absolutely. So I think I already mentioned we can do both native statements and image-based, and we can convert those to QuickBooks Desktop or QuickBooks Online.
When you say image-based, just want to kind of clarify, that's like if all you have is the paper statement, you could scan it and bring it in that way. So if you don't have a PDF from the bank, you could bring it in that way with a scanned image.
That's right, because then it becomes a image. So it's essentially like a picture that we're reading. And the only difference is, as long as it's above 300 DPI and free of those hand reconciliation marks that sometimes people draw through numbers or words, then we're gonna pick it up really well. Or my favorite is always the coffee stains that run through all the transactions. those are a little difficult to deconstruct. But
the blood, the sweat, and the tears on the statement.
That's right. We can do reconciliation checks, and as I'll show you, we can enable people to do payee cleanup in an automated fashion that's going to save you a ton of time. And
all right, so Carrie, look at this through all the times that you've spent wasted lens.
Yeah.
as he shows you how this works.
Yeah. So
literally yesterday I blinked and I didn't, and I missed it.
Yeah, very true. Okay, so why don't I share my screen and I can show you a statement. Let's see. Okay, I think you can see my screen, hopefully.
Yep.
Okay, wonderful. So let's pull up the problem child. Here's a bank statement, redacted information. As you can see, I've done just zeros and ones, and we've redacted information out of here. Great Meals Food Group, and we're looking at checking and summary, and we have checks paid and ATM withdrawals, our summary sections, and of course, basic stuff, right?
And they're all like almost the same, online transfer and lease and rental. Like, how long would that take you, Carrie, to sort through just that 1 month of transactions?
A long time. I mean, the best I could do is, save, go in the vendor, set up the vendor, put what I would code it to for like best time payment. That's probably another credit card or something. Who knows? I mean, it would take a while to scour through that and create that stuff.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you, Ryan, but
no, of course, no, all great points. And so, so now we'll go over to MoneyThumb. I will point out really quick that this is probably the most simplistic looking software that you can see, right? In between all of these logs, you really have your settings and convert that you're going to use. The rest is, taking you to our website or information about your license. But really, these are the top two that you're going to use. And in order to convert the statement that we've just seen, you can either walk through the settings, which I'll show you later, or you can just drag and drop right here to the drop zone or hit convert. I'm only working on one screen right now, so let me just hit convert. And so start to finish, we're going to pull up, convert. I'm going to Let me go ahead and do one I haven't done, which is February. And then I'm just going to hit preview. And it's going to think for a little bit. It seems to be thinking for a little bit longer. Oh, I must have grabbed an image one. So it's going to think for a little bit, and boom, we've converted the full statement, and it's going to pull out the preview section. Let me drag the zoom around here. So right off the bat, we can see it has reconciled. You can see the starting and ending balances, the PDF totals of how many credits and how many debits there are. If we needed to make any changes, we can do that directly in the preview screen. So if we feel that something didn't reconcile, we want to do some cleanup there. And then it's super easy. We hit create QBO file, and there it is. And now let's walk over to QuickBooks, and we just hit import data. And we're going to do bank data. Select.
And you're showing it in QuickBooks Online, but you could do the exact same thing in QuickBooks Desktop by importing that QBO file. Even, like Carrie was saying, that's QBO means it's
online,
a web connect file that can be brought in either.
Correct. Yeah. And so now we're just going to grab, I think I just did February. So we're just going to go ahead and grab February, hit continue. And because, I've already set up some rules for here, we're going to bring it into the bank account for Great Meals, and our import's completed. So now we have all that data into QuickBooks. And so I want to, now I've shown you how quick it can be done, and that's even with all my narrative. But let me kind of show you how the soup is made a bit. And so going into settings, I'm going to do view all settings just to give you a more holistic view. In settings, you can select whether or not you're doing a checking or savings or a credit card. In here, we would set the QuickBooks FID. This is a dynamically updated list where you can see anything that's listed, anything that has any bank that has an FID in QuickBooks, we can see that they're listed right here. So really simple, in our bank routing number and the account numbers so that it knows what to match in QuickBooks. We can select currencies, our top two being US and Canadian dollar, but as you can see, we are an international company.
Wow.
And process in any number of currencies. I think I mentioned before, if there's a password for the file, just enter it here, and it's not an issue.
Okay.
On pay cleanup settings, this is going to save you a ton of time. Or you can come in and ask it to remove in pay cleanup words that are dates, things that are currency values, phone numbers, state abbreviations, special characters. I mean, you can see you can remove with a checkbox pretty much any number of items that you would have to go in and manually edit. But then there's different phrases, right? I don't want the word corporation or card purchase or thank you or any of these in there. I want that to remove so that it imports better into QuickBooks without me having to manually update things. And as you can see, you can enter, keep entering them in, and we'll keep making space for you. So moving on, we can process statements in many languages, our top two being English and Spanish, but you can certainly do other languages as well. On the dates, we can read either US format dates or Euro format dates. And then you can tell us how you want to write it, because maybe you're reading in one version, but you want to actually upload it in a different format. And this is for how we handle charges that are negative or payments that are positive. This is a normal mode. No reason to modify that. And now that we've set all our settings, we can either switch to the wizard and step through those again. Okay. And this is all the settings we just set. and go ahead and finish, and we're ready to convert. And on
now you don't have to do this all, month by month, right? If you had that 12 months of statements, you could just bring in all the PDFs at once and create one file to bring in, right?
Correct. As long as it's the same number, it's the same account number, then we could do all 4 at one time. You can pull in as many as you want, right? And so now we'll hit a I'll do the preview just because it's normally I just do convert to QBO, but on the preview, here we've done our March statement and created that QBO file, and we can select whether we want to use things, but we can see again that it's reconciled, and we could go in and do custom pay cleanup if we wanted, or if for whatever reason we need to add a transaction, we can certainly do that here. And that's the software. Its elegance is in its simplicity.
What do you think, Carrie?
Pretty
Can you
powerful
think?
stuff.
Can you think of back to all those times where you're like, oh gosh, I've got to get a slave labor to enter all these transactions for me.
I actually had so we had a project years ago, probably about when this came out, and our really nice, she's a nice client. They have credit card problems. They have 20 credit cards, and some of them had their groceries on it so they could get points, and they had all this junk on it. And I finally just hired somebody to just manually key all that in. We had the statements, we could have done this. I think it was around when this was born, but still, it would have saved us a tremendous amount of time. The customer was very frustrated the amount of time it took for us to put that stuff in. Rules would have been nice. And she was on desktop. So, and I don't even think at that time the bank feed stuff was that good anyway. So we were stuck. This would have been a nice tool.
So as an accounting professional, this is a great tool, to have in your toolkit of, yes. Okay, this is going to make my life easier, but I don't need to. The customer doesn't need to know that, right? So you can bring that value. Okay, I'm going to turn these and bring them in all in one fell swoop, and and then use the bank feeds rules and magic of that to bring in those transactions much faster, to get people caught up. So when you talked about, quoting cleanup work, when we had that workshop on cleanup work, this could be, if that's something that you do on a regular basis, this would be a great tool to have. So you don't get surprised by a bank feed that doesn't go back far enough, or a bank feed that doesn't even connect, to QuickBooks.
Do you see most people that purchase this are pro advisors or consultants, or are there some end users that are savvy enough to handle it?
Oh shoot, it is it's a wider range. So we have everything from small businesses who are doing this to get their own stuff in, all the way up to pro advisors and some of the larger accounting firms in the country, or in other countries as well. So it's all over the place. It's the majority of customers download it and just use it without ever asking a question. I mean, it really is
that intuitive.
Yeah, as you see, there are really only 2 buttons that you can that you can use, and once people walk through that wizard once or twice, then it's kind of in there, right? So but that said, I always want to go back to the fact that unlimited support. So if there's any questions that anybody has, it is not something where you ask a question today and you get a response even in 24 hours. It is something where you will get a very quick response by a team that uses the software every hour and only works for us.
Is this something that you purchase and order? Is it a subscription? How does that work?
There's 2 different ways. One is a desktop product. All our desktop products are under $500.
Okay.
And so you can buy a desktop product. And if you need the PDF Plus, which is what reads the image-based statements, then it's $99 a year. So it's and then there's other products where people say, I just want the online because I have, a few that I'm doing every month, and the online has some great functionality to it as well.
Okay. So you have both options.
Like. And so there you can just buy a certain number of statements. So we've tried to make it as easy as we can for people to consume that product.
When you buy the desktop version, is there a period of time that it's supported, and then maybe you have to, after a few years, get an updated version?
No, we will support it for forever, right? That's our commitment.
It's not like Intuit's desktop, so that's why I had to ask, because I would expect after a few years that I'd need to either buy it all over again, like the Intuit way, or like other software vendors tend to just like 99 more bucks, they'll add some more bells and whistles. So I guess it's the combination of the $500 investment and getting that annual $99 conversion tool would give you all the tools you'd need to stay up to date with it.
Yeah, and then as Ryan mentioned, like if this is something that, all right, I want to kind of try it out. I want to maybe I just have it for this one job before I
go all in.
Want to go all in. You can do the online version and then have a few you pay by the statement, and then okay, I can see the advantage here. Maybe I want to get the whole kit and caboodle, right?
The kit and the caboodle, yeah. It's and if when you're going through your purchasing decision, people are looking. We do offer a trial, so people can try it for free. Just because I've run it. I could do this in my sleep, right? Because I've used the software so many times and been here for so long. But we do let people try it for free, where they can download a statement. We only let them download 10 transactions, but it gives you a sense. Can we read this? Is this intuitive? Do I feel like I can use it? And when you use the trial, you have full access to support them. So if you say, geez, I can't figure out how this works, reach out to support. And
gotcha.
And part of the reason we can offer this unlimited support is because it is so intuitive.
Yeah.
How long do you get the trial? Is it just like 30 days?
Good question. Well, it only produces 10 transactions. So it's not like it's, you can't actually
fully functional, but only for a smidgen. Okay, or as we said before, you get a skosh of transactions.
Never heard of that one, but there it is.
Yeah.
Twice in one day I've said the word skosh, and
I know it's all new to me.
I'm not quite sure if that's bigger than a pinch or smaller than a morsel.
I don't know.
We need a measuring tool to put the words in order.
Right. Well, Rand, I thank you again for joining us, especially on such short notice. You came in hot.
That's usually my job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime.
And really just showing us this powerful tool that accountants and bookkeepers. I think probably your biggest problem is that, like Carrie, she didn't even know about what MoneyThumb is and what it does. So hopefully, folks can see the power of this tool, in our audience and reach out and make their life a little easier when it comes to supporting their clients.
Well, that's great. We really appreciate the invite to be part of this, and it's great. We love evangelizing our software because we're proud of what we have built, and we make improvements to it on a weekly basis. So what you see now, it's only getting better and better and better. So when you're sending in those support tickets, if you are, definitely let us know how we can improve the software, because we had a team of developers ready to make it even better.
And the thing that you mentioned earlier, and I think that really stands out, is that that Ralph had created this to solve his own solution. All right. He had his own problem and he wanted to fix it. I think that is the most powerful solutions that are out there are the ones that people have created themselves. The data, the Q2Q data transfer utility was created by a CPA who was having a problem. I need to get 2 company files into one. Well, I'll fix it,
Mm-hmm.
and then they really understand their own problems because they are having them.
Yeah.
It's not, they don't have to follow anyone home. They are home with,
Yeah.
so they know exactly what to do to fix it so that, and when they're happy, then so is everybody else. So it's a really great solution. Again, thanks for joining us, and hopefully, anyone wants to check out, where do they go to find out more information about MoneyThumb?
Yeah, they would go to www.moneythumb.com and just click on QuickBooks, and it'll give you all the information that I've mentioned, and feel free to reach out on our phone or directly to our email, because we're always happy to answer questions.
All right.
Perfect.
Well, thanks again for joining us. Carrie, any last parting words?
No, I just I would recommend anyone trying this. I've heard a lot of good stuff in the Facebook noise, and I just think this is definitely worth checking out. And thanks for taking the time to explain it to me, because I didn't slow down enough to learn what it was.
well, Carrie and Dan, I thank you so much for having us.
All right. And we'll see you guys next week on another Workshop Wednesday.
Have a great week.
Have a great week, everyone. All right. Bye-bye.
time.